Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel, Kataganya. Today I'm working on the August Art Journaling Challenge page. So we're actually doing that on an A5 using, totally lost it then, 3 colours only, including of course allowing white and black as our contrasting, to allow for lights and shades, and putting collage in the background, and just trying to remember what else was the challenge. Oh, the word was courage. So I've just showed the 3 colours, which is green, teal and lime green. I'm using the little birdie colours and the tool art pens, as well as my Derwent Intense palette that has the 3 colours as well. So here I am tearing up my collage paper, and it's a random amount of words, and there's also included is some small calendar pages. So I also went and found some large lettering, which is what I'm doing at the moment, and I'll add that to my pile of collage papers I'm going to use for the background. So I'm going to use it's just a bottle of watered down PVA glue, and I'm using that as the collage glue today. So started off with the large alphabet and adding that as the background there. So I'll add all those pieces. Now it'll jump all of a sudden, and it will jump now. So what happened, I do not know. I think learning to use my new camera, somehow one of the videos when I uploaded, well actually there was a couple that just were not viable. They just wouldn't read. I don't know what happened. Might have been something in the cable to computer. I'm not sure. So I lost the actual finishing up of the collage and doing the painting background. I've used on this a couple of stencils. One's a pebble one. I've also used the puncher, there you go, I've lost the word, the punchola there. Used all the 3 colours, used the Toolie Art pens. I've done some circles in white, and I've used the watered down white paint to bring those circles forward a little bit. Sorry about that, I'm just bringing that camera in to see if I can get a close-up. So now I'm using the glossy white from Dina Wakley to add some spots all over. And now what am I doing? Oh, cleaning again. I don't know why, but sometimes I get really clean up mad. It's not, well, actually, yeah, it is pretty normal for me these days. So I'm just coming in with one of the Tool Art paint pens. Now these are really good value, really good product. The smaller pens have probably their only problem I have with them is because it's a plastic tip, it does get blocked with the paint. So I'd say just washing them out occasionally would help, but they do give you a couple of spare tips anyway. So I'm going in with each of the colours, which is the lime, the teal and the orange. And I found this teal to be a lot darker than, it looked the same via the lid, but it actually was darker when I actually used it, which is fine. It just looks like the teal with some black added to it. So I'm adding some markings, more markings to the page. As you know, I love my layers, and I do this by either adding, well, as you see here, I've got some V's or upside down arrow tips, whichever angle you got. I've got some open circles, I've got some dots, I've outlined another lot of circles, and so I'm just having a look now to see what else I can add to this this page. So I'm really liking the colours, I really like the way it's looking, but of course it does need other stuff and it needs wording, etc, etc. Now I'm getting out some stamps now, and I'm adding in randomly some words on there, as it seemed that a lot of the collage went right back, and I mean right back. I nearly lost it. There's some in maybe the top right corner that you can actually still see, maybe a couple of other spots, but I've lost all those big letterings and stuff, which is really, really a shame, but it is what it is. So I'm now also going to just trim the card, because there is some overlap from the collage paper. So I'm just giving all the edges, well, I'm not cutting it, it's basically, but the lazy man's way of trimming all those bits off, because it can get very hard with scissors sometimes. So I decided to use my Craft cutter, so it actually means that all the edges are straight. So I will then grab the archival ink, and I'm actually going to add border all the way around. I've kind of fallen back on this a lot now. I either use that, or I use a Posca pen, or maybe some pastel, just to darken the edges. It frames it. It kind of it's just how I like to get close to finishing my art pieces. So I'm really liking the way it looks. So now realised it needs some more white on the page, so I'm grabbing the white pen, the Right Text Posca pen. No, it's not a Posca pen, it's a Tooly Art paint pen, and I'm putting some dots on, and then I decided to grab the mark maker that I used to make the circles, and I went right around each of those with the Tooly Art pen, going around the actual circle I used, just to give it another edging, so it actually worked out to be a little bit larger to what the paint was. So just giving that a quick dry. It shouldn't take long, because paint pens do seem to actually dry rather quickly. So now I'm coming in with a smaller one, and I'm actually doing some journaling around each of the circles. I'm not sure if it's pretend or it's actually real journaling, but either which way, you wouldn't be, it's not that legible, but it adds another dimension to the page, and I really like that effect, especially around some circles and things similar. So now I'm just doing a rough line edging around it as well, just to give it another bit of, I suppose, a Diane's touch to the page. So now I'm just having a look to see if I can find a focal point, is what the page actually needs, I feel. A focal point will add a lot more dimension than what it currently has. I also got online and looked up a quote to add to the page, so I'm just writing this out so I can see what it would look like. So I wrote that on pencil on a page so I don't lose it. So here I'm looking at the Diane Wakely's tissue collages, and I'm just deciding which one I want. So I decided on the house one. That's what I was going to use. So I'm cutting that down just a little bit closer to the edge of the tissue paper that she uses. It's great tissue paper, but like a lot of it, it does add a cloudy effect on some. So if it's what you're after, that works great. So I'm just trying to work out where I want it, and I think the left hand side is perfect. So I just trim it off just below the wording that's on there, and it fits nicely on that page. So I'm just going to grab some of my gel medium, the soft gel medium I have from Little Birdie, and I'm going to stick it down. Now, one thing about tissue paper, you really do have to make sure you get it wet to actually get it to blend properly into the background. It really needs quite a bit of gel medium to get that transparent look. Sometimes, depending on the paper, you can get it to so it doesn't look any different. I'm just going over the whole page with the gel medium, so you don't get that high and low. Even though it's not a gloss, it still will add a shine to the page. So I try to cover as much as I can with that, just to get a balance with that particular glossy effect that it can have. So just giving that a dry, and then I'm using my ruler that actually has like a leveling, like a T ruler, so it gives a bit truer line. So I'm using a chalk pencil in white to draw some lines to do my text work in, and then I'm just writing it. I was trying to write it out to see if it'll actually fit in the area that I want, and yes, it looks like it will. So I've just penciled it in to see. So now I'm going to grab a Sharpie black paint pen, and I'm writing that out by hand, something that I don't normally do. I don't have a lot of self-confidence when it comes to my writing. It can look tidy at times, it can, but I suppose like all of us, we don't like our own voices, we don't like our own writing, we don't like our own art at times. So it's just one of those things. Now, I've tried doing my own writing before in the past, and I think you would have seen me go over and over and over and over and over it. This is no different. I just can't. The background was too, I don't know. I think it was just, it just basically swallowed the lettering, and it wasn't because it was dark and light, it just kind of dissolved into the background. So it wasn't the right medium to be using to benefit from the wording. Yes, you can read it when you're looking at it, but I do think it was a slight fail in the sense of how it ended up, and the fact that it took me so long to be more confident with it. The word courage stands out beautifully. It's the other part of it. So it was very frustrating for me, to be honest. And I went over it in white to try to see if that worked, which might have ruined it a little bit more. You know, I went over all the lettering but the word courage in white, in the white tool art, and then I went round on the shade, the bright side of the lettering, so the left hand side, to add just another, a means to try to pop the word is basically what I've done. But here I think that the lettering went right back in the background. So now I'm going to grab a pen, and I'm just doing my own doodling around the collage piece, just doing the squiggles and the freehand that Diane Wakely had already created. I actually did some journaling in the roof, done some extra dashes and dots and stuff in it, just to give it a bit of, put a bit of me on the page. So I've done another outline with that, and now I'm going around again with the lettering, and I'm pretty sure I do this a few times. So I'm just going to cut my writing out and go to the next stage. Okay, so I went over the writing yet again, and I think I went over it in a bit of glitter, I can't think of the name of it. So I'm actually getting out the Inktense now, and I'm going, and just so you know, you can use watercolour on painted surface. The trick is to actually place a gel medium on the actual page. Gel medium or a gesso will work fine with a watercolour. Watercolourists will tell you no, it doesn't work, but yes, it does. It holds quite well. It's just, it's not quite the same effect as watercolour on watercolour paper. Of course not. That's not the effect I'm actually after. What I'm after is a translucent colouring over the collage that I placed. That was what I was after. So, but for it to stay on the page, it needed a medium to stick to, and that is what the gel medium does. It's in the name, gel medium. Gesso is a medium, so it allows the paint that you're using to stick to the page. That's what it comes to, really. So I'm adding the 3 colours that I've used in my piece, and I've coloured the collage part in, so it's now blending more into the background. I've made it so the girl pops a little bit as well, and I was actually quite happy with the result. I love these Inktense palettes. They're absolutely gorgeous, and because they're Inktense, when they dry properly, when they fully dry, they are permanent, so it's fantastic. So I'm not sure, what am I doing here? I'm adding something to the side down there. I think I'm adding some sparkles or something. Got something in my hand and I can't see, and because it's been a little while, I actually can't remember what I actually did. So the page, I think, is almost at its finale, and it was quite a long process, even with that part of the video cut out, because I really did spend a lot of time on this and thinking and playing and doing what I normally do with backgrounds and things. But it's not the time that matters. You can spend 5 minutes on a page, you can spend 5 days on a piece. You know, there's no rules. There just isn't any rules. There's no wrong, there's no right. And I often go through some YouTube videos and it goes, the right way to do. Why is it the right way to do? Why? Who says it's the right way? So what I'm actually doing is, part of the thing was adding sparkles. So that's what I'm actually doing. I'm adding some little sparkly bits to the page using some gel. And they've got a slight green twinge to them, and they're very translucent. So that's what I'm doing. I'm adding some sparkle to try to give it, to add it to what the challenge is. Okay, I'm trying to show you. See, there's the little, in the bottom there you can see it. I'm just trying to give it a flick to see if you can see the actual sparkle in the page. But as I was saying, don't ever anyone tell you that you're doing something wrong. You're not. You're doing something your way. If it's worked, it's right. Simple. If you're happy with it, it's right. Simple. If you're not happy with it, but it still worked, it still came out, you may dislike the colours you shot. There is no wrong. It is your art piece. You know, look at all the artists of past. Some of them weren't recognised until they died. I'm hoping that's not what comes for all of us, but there's no wrong. Believe in yourself. Believe in your friends when they tell you that it is right. So from there, I'm going to leave on that note because I've gone over the video. Happy crafting, and thank you for watching my YouTube video. Hi, and thank you for watching my latest video. If you'd like to see more, click subscribe. Please click the like button and let me know that you enjoyed it, and comment below if you'd like to see anything new. So thank you for coming, and happy crafting. Bye.